All right, so I have never have I ever uh, attempted to go live on YouTube. So I'm not even sure this is working yet. I'm going to open another window and check just to see what's going on here. Let's go here to my channel. And it says I'm live. How about that? All right. So I'm just going to sit here and talk to myself in my Donald Trump avatar, because I don't know, just because I'm silly like that. But I haven't been on at all in a while. There's just not that much going on, really. It's a point in life where every day is just like yesterday was and tomorrow's going to be. So it's not really interesting over here. But whatever. I still enjoy life, and that's, I guess, the real thing that matters. And it says I have two people watching. I'm one of them because I have this window open. But at any rate, I just got on to greet some people, whoever wants to pop in, and talk a little bit about all the nonsense that's going on with the elections. The California midterm that's going on right now, and I kind of don't get it. That's just the most horrible state in the country. Seattle, Washington is making Washington State number 2. Mamdani is making New York number 3. The mayor and governor of Chicago are ruining Illinois. And you notice one thing, it's always the blues. It's always the blue states. They want to hand out free needles and free drugs to the drug addicts. And I'm so conservative, I'm of the space that I don't actually even want to see law enforcement revive them with Narcan. I mean, if they're going to OD, let them go, because they're just going to keep ODing, and it's you and me that are paying for those shots of Narcan, right? So, but that's just my take on it. I've never done a drug in my life, and I've been around a long time. But that's my position on it. You don't have to agree. We're allowed to disagree. But I'm watching this mayoral race in Los Angeles with the vapid Karen Bass running against Spencer Pratt. It's amazing to see how little the incumbent Mayor Bass actually has to attack Pratt with. All she keeps harping on is that, what is the guy's qualification? He's a reality TV star. Well, okay. 20 years ago he did that. I mean, what were you 20 years ago? You were a Cuba-loving Castro sympathizer 20 years ago. So where's that put you at there, Ms. Bass? I don't really know what that even means. 20 years ago? Come on. Didn't we all do things 20 years ago we are not all that happy with? But apparently you are happy with it because you did it. And now what's funny is the fact that you're not denouncing it, but you're you're not addressing it either. So, don't be doing things you may be sorry for someday. Kind of like me with marriages, but that's another story. Uh, I just don't understand the the fires out there were all I would have needed to see, to be honest. I mean, the way she mishandled all of that. But you gotta also admit that she's got Governor Newsom's knee on the back of her neck, so she just pretty much does what he does, what he tells her to say, and all of that. And uh, it's just so strange to watch people. Well, not strange. What it is sad to watch people who claim to be for the people, and that's why they want to run for government office, because it's for the people. Damn it, for the people. But Newsom's for nobody but Newsom. Bass is for nobody but Bass. They're both money launderers. It's clear. Uh, so I don't really understand the whole thing. Hey, Zero, what's shaking, man? Nice to see you pop in. I said when I started, I never done YouTube Live before, and so I wanted to do this YouTube Live. I'll probably only be on maybe 20 minutes, just to see how it works, how it looks, and all of that. And I had a whole thing trying to get it set up because I don't use the same credentials on both Google and YouTube, and my channel number, blah blah blah. So you got betrayed by who? Los Angeles and California, or what? I'm waiting to see what you reply, because I want to make sure I understand what you mean about getting Fugen betrayed. Yeah, the primary here went pretty much as expected, and the real battles are going to come in November. Uh, the all of these socialist people, that Wilson woman in Seattle. Oh my God, is she dumb? She's just really dumb. I just can't understand what kind of bill of goods she sold to the coffee drinking morons in Seattle, that she bought into it. But I do remember that very famous clip of her saying, "And to all you millionaires who do want to leave, well, bye." And now they're leaving, and they have no tax base left in Seattle whatsoever. Everybody's leaving, as they should, rather than be subjected to her. And it's turned into drug-filled, homeless, crime-ridden city, like everybody knew they would when they went so deeply blue and socialist that it was good. It was going to be a problem. Just put it that way. And the flippant attitude about the millionaires want to leave. Well, bye. Yeah, okay. Then she stood on the sidewalk out front the Starbucks saying, "Well, I'm going to be out here picketing with you." Well, Starbucks is gone now. Karen, Kathy, whatever your name is. It just amazes me. People go to our educational system and they end up this stupid. I just can't imagine it. Mamdani, he sold the bill of goods to New York, and it took him 6 months to show his ugly claws. And he's shooting for an entire Muslim cabinet and trying to drive people out of New York so it can be a Muslim stranglehold. And you got to wonder what they are waiting for to start the recall procedures to get him out of there. I mean, governor hates him. That's not a good thing when your governor hates you. That doesn't bode well for you getting any kind of funding, any kind of assistance whatsoever when you've driven away your mayor or your governor because you're such a cement head. But you know, they're leaving in droves. I mean, the politicians in Chicago, I don't know if they don't seem to understand that it's not a good thing when the Chicago Bears don't want to be there anymore. I don't know why that didn't resonate with more people. But there's been it's made for some really good YouTube viewing though. There's people in these cities come in and they talk about not the politicians' view of what's going on, but the actual people, boots on the ground types that are seeing what's going on. And I just gotta tell you, it's not pretty. I wonder where I got this cable that's sitting here on my desk. USB-C to USB-C. Oh, I know why I got that. Okay. But I don't know if Gates still lives out there. He may have... why did that avatar do that? I tipped my head back too far? Okay. I'm still working on the settings of this avatar. I had to reinstall the software that does this anime software, and now I don't remember how to create avatars and edit them, and I got to go back and read some more. But I just got it all back up and running. I had some setbacks on the streaming side just because of losing the dialer tool like we did there, and somebody's written one much like it, but it takes time to propagate and gather call centers and all of that. So less said about it, the better, though. Yeah, Texas, Florida, they're all benefiting largely from the blue mistake, as I call it. What I'm really happy to see, and as I mentioned, I'm watching a lot more YouTube, the political-based kind of channels, a lot of them are operated by black creators. And I am so happy to see how many black people are finally understanding what kind of low esteem that the Democrats hold them in. I mean, it's like they seem to think that all the black people that have been voting for them for decades are just stupid, and they'll continue to buy the bullshit. I mean, it's crazy. Now the latest thing with the redistricting with the maps, I think back, and at my age, I remember how many things I've seen through my life. I've lived through the days of the White's water fountains and the colored-only bathrooms. So long ago that black people were still referred to as colored, but this Chuck Schumer guy, what a moron he is. He's all he does really is try to stir people up with his rhetoric, and now he's looking at the SAVE Act, and he's trying to make black people angry and play on their emotions with this is nothing but Jim Crow. 2.0. Oh, come on, Chuck. First of all, you're a little younger than me. You don't remember anything about Jim Crow. Second of all, it's not that in the slightest. He's trying to make it sound like black people are going to lose their right to vote. I think there's a constitutional amendment that pretty much covers it. It was ratified, I believe, in 1870. So 150 years later, I mean, they're not going to undo that amendment, are they, Chuck? And what was funny, I live in a very racially balanced neighborhood, and when I went to vote, my polling place had, I don't know, 25 people there at the time I was there. I was the only white person in there. And I mean, I kept looking around. I didn't see police with German shepherds trying to chase the black people away from the polls or anything. There were no fire hoses turned on them to chase them out and intimidate and any of that stuff. It was just a bunch of nice people walking up to the desk showing their driver's license and voting and then leaving. This is the way the Democrats play, though. They want to play on emotion and not deal in facts and not deal in examples. But I went outside after voting, and it was kind of funny. It was there was a group of maybe 6, 7 people, and they were laughing about something. And as I walked by, I grinned at them and said, "Oh, come on, I'm not that funny looking." And they all laughed at that, and one of the women said, "No, we're just laughing at how the Democrats want us to think that we's all too stupid to know how to get an ID." I said, I know, I understand that. My God, what are they trying to pull? And I looked around, and a few of them were up in my age group. I said, "Let me ask you folks a question here. When did you start driving?" And they said, in the late 60s. So you have had a valid ID that you showed to vote since the late 60s. And they said, "Yep." So what did they think, that suddenly black people forgot how to go get that driver's license? And the things that Schumer's trying to say, what about women who got married and their name doesn't match? Well, you go to the BMV and you take your marriage license with you and you get one that does match. Case closed. These people don't know where their birth certificates are and they don't have a passport. Okay, wait a minute. So now black people are both stupid and so po. They can't go get a new driver's license or a passport. You can actually use a passport card to be your ID, and that's just to register. The big contention is the identifying yourself at the poll. So your name isn't Julio Jimenez, who just came here from El Salvador or Guatemala or someplace, and all you know is vote for Uncle Democrat because he's the one that snuck me into the country. No. We gotta continue to control the border, continue to enforce what is already law, and that law being you can't vote in an election if you're not a U.S. citizen. Not a bit of Jim Crow in there, but that's what they want. They're trying to, and what's funny, if you pay attention, you see all the politicians, the Democrats. They all say exactly the same phrases, the exact same words in the same order. I mean, my God, I've never seen so much outrage by the black people that have YouTube channels and the clips that they're taking from TikTok to use to do the reactions to. And I agree with every one of those people. It's like, why are you trying to insinuate and in fact say outright that we're stupid and we're poor and we're lazy and we're all those things. Finally, and it's easy to see, I mean, anybody of an advanced age such as me is well aware that's the Democrats' goal, is to keep black people poor and stupid because they need them to be poor and stupid. Well, start with the stupid part. They're not stupid people. You're keeping them poor by incentivizing them to be poor with all the SNAP card and Section 8 rent and free Medicaid and WIC money payments every month. You're keeping them poor because you want them to need you. But the day's dawning, and I think by 2028, that's, 2.5 more years till the next election, that the eye-opening and information sharing will continue. And I think by that next election, I don't know if the Democrats have even a prayer. Yeah, so we'll see how that plays out, but that's just the way I see it. I called the stream "The View from the East Side." I grew up in a time where so many things that we look at now as being overtly racist were just the way it was back then. And it's kind of ridiculous to look back and see people actually thought this back in the 60s. I mean, I don't know. But some of the funnier ones are when they post the videos from TikTok about the outraged liberal females with the blue hair and the nose rings and all of that. And there was a handful that somebody made a compilation of, and it was all of these crazy, screaming, middle 20 white females yelling, "There's no way I'm voting for Trump in 2028. Well, first, you maybe want to read up on how this all works, because he can't exactly run again in 2028. You only get 2 bites of that apple. Unless you're Hussein Obama, who got a 3rd term hiding behind the puppet that was Joe Biden. I just don't know how the people bought that. I think it was partly because they sold the notion of COVID and somehow decided to blame a disease mosquito from China on Trump. I don't know what the thinking was, but at any rate, he's back, and like it or not, people, we had to endure your Biden years. Well, you're going to have to endure Trump years now. That's just kind of how it works. All of these socialists, and the ones that are the biggest socialists are the ones that don't have anything to lose, right? Yeah, give everybody free. Well, free to you doesn't make anything free. Somebody's paying for it. I'm in a category that my incomes are exempt, so I don't have to pay federal taxes anymore. But, so, that's the disclaimer. I don't pay any of these social programs. But I really, really feel bad for those of the people out there that have to. I mean, these young girls that go out and they quickly have 3 or 4 babies, knowing that's going to mean more SNAP benefits for them. Not a man to be seen because they're either in prison or dead, and surely not going to take care of the kids they created. But it's going to be an interesting time. And I'm kind of enjoying watching all the crash outs by these people that work for $10, $11 an hour and yet go out and buy a brand new car with a $700 a month car payment. And they want to live in a $2,000 a month apartment and DoorDash 4 or 5 nights a week, $40 for that $12 hamburger. They're blaming the government because they got no money. Well, self-inflicted wounds are self-inflicted wounds. I don't know. I'm not struggling. I don't understand it. I mean, I got a almost paid for house here, and I've got a paid for car, and I live in a modest post-war bungalow. And I'm not hitting the Starbucks at $8 a cup every day, twice, and I don't smoke, I don't use drugs, I don't go drinking, none of it. But I lived some really stupid years when I was younger, when I would get a credit card with $1,000 limit and go out and spend 990 of it right away, and then think I was doing a good thing by paying minimum payments every month, until I started to learn a little bit in older years how to do things correctly. That changed a lot. But yeah, YouTube has indeed been entertaining this last 6, 8 months especially, but ever since the president got elected, immediately it started. And that's when the stupidity first started to show up. I heard a woman who actually ended up getting her ex account shut down, so she had to come back and rebuild under a similar nickname. But she came on in mid-December, I believe it was, or maybe early to mid-December, and posting these angry videos and these angry posts about, well, you got your Trump, didn't you? No, nothing's changed yet. And I'm like, are you really that stupid? He's not even in office yet. But she expected that a month after the election, everything was going to be changing. The only thing that's changing is the current president was missing in action, and that bubble-headed cackling hen was serving as president, though nobody was consulted about it. And they're already blaming Donald Trump for her problems caused by the old guy. Now I'm just watching to see how much more he does to undo all the things that senile Joe did before he got so far gone they just didn't let him in the office anymore. Auto pen signing everything. And documented that he did it. I mean, he himself admitted in an interview that he was signing things he didn't even know what they were. He'd ask, "What am I signing?" And the cackler told him, "Oh, just go ahead and sign it, Joe." And he'd sign it, and I don't know. If you look close enough and not just see what the Democrats want you to see, you look at their budget, which, includes salsa dancing lessons for people in Thailand and condoms for male prostitutes in some African country, Ghana, I think it was. Why do you want us to pay for that kind of stuff? Bad enough Biden sent $1.85 billion to Ukraine for a war we weren't in. And all the illegals he let in the country that got housing, they're still claiming that none of them ever got medical insurance cards or free food on SNAP. Once again, all documented to be exactly as the Republicans said it was. So let's keep it 100 here, everybody. So Yeah, that's just my political slant on things. I'm a very conservative person. Uh, I'm not conservative to the point, though, when everybody starts with this, well, God says in the Bible. Well, I don't, I'll just say that I don't share your zeal when you go into that area of things. Uh, Till somebody can come here and I'll pour out a gallon of water in a jug and you can turn it into some fine Chablis, as the Bible says. And women start having babies under immaculate conception. Nah, we're not going to go to that angle. Funny story. I was once called for jury duty many years ago, probably 18 to 20. And I got on the stand. I put my hand on the Bible. I raised my right hand, and they went through that whole thing, and they ended it up with "So help you God." And I looked over at the judge and said, "I'm sorry, Judge, I will not swear to an oath that ends with a reference to a deity in which I do not believe. I don't understand who you want me to swear to, so help me." And the judge tried to tell me, well, that's just the oath. Well, then I'm just not going to say I do. So unless you're going to have the bailiff read it back and leave that last phrase off, I won't ever say I do to that oath. So they let me have it and said, all right, just do it again, but leave "so help you God" off. So it ended up, "Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?" And then I said, "I do." And it was something I didn't want to be there for. I wanted nothing to do with it. And the prosecutor started to ask us questions. And he said, "Please state your name for the record." I said, "No, sir, I will not. They know my name. It was on the subpoena when they served it to me." "Well, we need it on the record, sir." "No, you don't." I looked at the judge. I said, "Your Honor, under advice of private counsel, I choose to invoke my Fifth Amendment privilege, and I will not comment on any of this." And the judge then asked me, "But you're a witness. Why would you do that?" I said, "Your Honor, I just invoked my Fifth Amendment right, and you asked me another question." I said, if either of you asks me anything any further, I'm just going to repeat what I have written on this little card that I read that from, and the way we can sit here all afternoon and play this game, but I'll make no statements on this matter. And he quickly called both counselors up to the bench, and they whispered back and forth for a minute, and when they'd been set back down, "Okay, sir, you're excused," and I left. I'm not going to be in a position that I'm going to decide somebody's fate. That's not my job here on earth. So, yes, Fifth Amendment for me all the way. What I don't understand about the states making these little laws about, we have a constitution in this country for just about everything they're trying to make judgments on. I mean, all of this with Second Amendment rights, this is already decided. And the liberals used to make the argument that when that constitutional amendment was written, they were using muskets. They didn't mean the AR-15. And I would always say, were you there? Were you there? The musket was deadly when the musket was the gun of choice. But shooting is my hobby, one of my hobbies. I mean, are you going to tell me I can't golf? You're going to tell a guy who likes to work in a garden he's not allowed to have a garden? Because in 1776, nobody had a garden? I mean, Well, weapons kill. No, my weapons, my guns have never killed anybody. One is sitting about 4 feet to my left, and it's just sitting there. It's never got up off the desk and jumped down on the floor and headed out down the street to try to shoot at somebody. Never once. But they want to continue to pull out that old chestnut about what the founding fathers thought. Well, you weren't there. You didn't hear him. They didn't share that with you. So how about you just shut up? And now they're looking for little tiny cracks in the Second Amendment armor. The last one in Virginia was they want to ban all Glocks because, get ready for this one, because a Glock can be modified to function as a machine gun by an illegally created, heavily machined precision part called a Glock switch can be installed into that Glock to provide a switch that changes it from semi-automatic to automatic. If you even search for a Glock switch online, God forbid if you ever buy one, you're going to federal prison for, I think it's a minimum of 10 years. I don't care if my Glock fires automatic enough to risk 10 years of my life. Plus, they cost like $10 on the black market. So, yeah, that's the kind of stuff they're trying to do. Now, I find it odd that the Glock 17 is like the law enforcement sidearm of choice by most police departments in the country. And I don't know if the liberals want to mean that, well, all guns can kill you, but that Glock 17, that's the one that can kill you. Really, extra bad kill you. They're so stupid. I don't know. Zero, you still on? If you are, make a quick comment so I can see it. I just want to test something here. And I need a worthwhile participant to help me. You may be gone, and that in itself would tell me what I wanted to know. I'm trying to get a handle on the lag between when I speak into this mic and when it gets through the YouTube servers and makes it out to the channel. I'm trying to figure another way to time it, but I can't really do it while I'm using this avatar. Oh, I know one way I can do it. I can do a quick open and close of the mouth, even though it'll make dead air, but nobody's really watching. So let me do that. Wow, that's quite a lag. And I also don't understand why the avatar is kind of wobbling back and forth. Well, those are just little things I need to work out as I experiment and learn about how to stream to YouTube. I really hope to get back into dating more sometime soon here, but it's hard to find numbers to call, and I don't quite have everything set up. My virtual computer's not working right. I may have to take it down to studs and reload everything, but we'll see how that goes. I'm the kind of person that I like to do things to learn how to do things. So uh, I started to be very zealous about streaming scam baiting stuff, but it got to where uh, it got to the point where, okay, I kind of know how to do this now, and then it got old, and I moved on to the next thing. And that next thing was I wanted to learn how to bake to go with me being a very good cook. So I did that, and okay, I just did another thing where I tested location of my avatars. I'm moving some stuff around just to see once the screen catches up what it looks like. Yeah, so to people that are going to be seeing this later, this was a really test drive kind of thing to get a look at how YouTube is going to work, vis-a-vis Twitch, and see if they worked pretty much similarly, and they are similar but not exact. The alignment of the screen and the backdrop and the avatar on the backdrop are not exactly the same, so I got to tweak that. But yeah, I just wanted to get on and do that, and I don't even know how long have I been on here. Is there no timer here when it's live? No, there isn't. Well, that's okay. Doesn't really matter. So I am going to cut it off here, and I got a dog that just ate and now wants to go outside, and it's time for me to cook for me too. So I'm going to wrap it up here, and this'll tell me the time delay. Once I stop streaming here, I can time to see how long it is before YouTube stops. Let me get here. Let me go to stopwatch, and I am going to cut the stream right here. And we'll see when I look back on it, see how the maiden voyage went. So thanks, Zero, for staying tuned in as long as you did, and I'll talk to some people next time.